G'day and welcome back to Survival. We've got a whole day of work to do. Let's first have a look on top here. What I want to do first, since we're not using these solar panels anyway, let's grind them down and get rid of them. And one of the upshots of that is we now have access to the third side of the assembler, which means we can add another power efficiency module there. The other thing I want to do today is I would really like to do a couple of small upgrades to our little ugly duckling up here. The upgrades will involve getting a bit more thrust and having some stone ejector systems on it as well. Let's finish this thing off though. Need small steel tubes and motors. Easy. He says before he checks what we've actually got, and we don't have any really of either. And we're also going to need to produce some of them anyway. Let's get probably 50 of those. With that extra power efficiency module on there, we should be able to go a bit further with our current power. Hopefully... Did we put any solar cells on this? I can't remember. No. I think it'll take too long. Oh, that's another thing we should do while we're waiting for those steel plates to be built. Let's turn off our headlight. Let's get our other... Well, actually, let's put this in a group with the spotlight. Lights. And we'll turn these off now. Instead of having the spotlight on our hotbar, let's put groups. Put our lights group on our hotbar. Now, they've removed the safety lock, which means we can't use that as our braking system anymore. So let's turn ourselves around a little bit. Get this optimally... Whoa, not like that. Optimally lined up for the sun. Put our parking brake on. I think there might even be some... Yep, there's some iron in here, so let's grab that out. Now... Oh, one other thing. The antenna's using up power, so let's turn that off. Check our battery. Yeah, our battery is now getting charged. As we've turned the lights off, we've turned the antenna off. And that should actually gain some charge now. And with that time used up, we should have enough, and we do have enough steel plates to finish off this power upgrade module. Now, if we take a look at our control panel, only 167 kilowatts. Nice. What I want to do with this thing is I would like to add those, as I said before, add those extra thrusters. Oop, connector kind of grabbed us a little bit there. Turn off those thrusters. What I want to do is on the sides add the thrusters, and elsewhere I need ejectors and I need sorters. Not sopters, sorters. There you go. Though we can do this, although we're going to need interior plates for that. Grab a couple of those. And what we're going to do for upgrades is add an extra thruster there and an extra thruster there. And do you know what? Might even add another extra thruster at the back here. That should give us comfortable lift. And I think, and yes, I did do some maths on this, I think that should give us enough lift to comfortably fill the drill, the cargo container, and the connector. And so that we're not filling them with stone, we will add a little ejector system on the side here. One there, and one here. Make sure we eject it nice and quickly. And that should be some pretty solid upgrades to our little ugly duckling. I'm going to jump ahead to when I've actually finished constructing all these bits and pieces, as it's going to take a fair bit of time to get all those motors built that we need for those engines. So I'll see you once that's done. One thing I will do before I finish these thrusters, is group them all in the thrusters group and make sure they're all switched off. So if we select our group and then control click to select the new ones, we can then click save, and now all those new items are in our group. You can see when I select it here, they're all done. Let's set these to off so that when I construct them, I don't waste battery power waiting for me to actually turn them off. And we've got a few more things to do, so we'll come back once they are completely done. Okay, last couple of motors going in, and we're ready to roll. Let's set this thing up so that we can use it properly. First off, let's grab our backwards thruster, and we'll name it so we can find it, because unfortunately those names that show up here do not show up when you're in the G menu. And the reason we wanted to do that was... won't show up until I control the seat. So that we can add that thruster to our hotbar with an on-off command. The next thing we're going to add is we're going to create a group of our ejectors and our sorters. Where are our sorters? There they are. And that's going to be our ejector, a stone ejector group. Save that. And we'll have that on our hotbar as well. Toggle on and off, and we want that off for the time being. The reason I wanted that as a group is if we have a look at our ejectors, no, our sorters, when these are on, they actually require power, so we should turn them off when we don't actually need them. So we're going to set up our sorters, and we have to do it individually. Drain all on, whitelist, we'll scroll all the way down, we'll select stone, add that, set up the second one the same way, drain all on, whitelist, and stone. That way they'll only eject stone. We'll grab our ejectors. These can be set up together, so we'll select both of them, set them to throw out, and collect all. Now, when we turn them on in the hotbar, they'll work exactly as we intend. And now to explain why we set up the thrusters the way we did. We're going to go mine some iron, and our iron mine's a fair way away. So if we look at this from above, if we use our normal acceleration technique, we can accelerate, and then we'll see that that thruster on the left actually breaks us every time. We want it to stop doing that. So if we turn it off and we accelerate, we just keep floating. What we can also do, since we've got more altitude than we need, is if we tilt forward, that thruster is not going to break us. So by tilting forward, we start to accelerate. And we accelerate without using any thrust at all. We just use our altitude to our advantage, and we can actually get down to that mine with using the bare minimum power and just the power needed to keep us aloft. Which is something I should have been doing all along and kept forgetting to do, and my apologies for that. But now that we're doing it, we can certainly save enough power, and we can use our lifting thrusters to brake us, much like you would do landing in a helicopter. And come down, we'll turn on our ore detector because we want to get iron, and I think from memory the iron mine, yep, it's this way. We go down, and we're about 16 meters away, so we should be fine just to drill down where we are. So let's turn off our ore detector and stop using up that power. Let's start drilling into the ground, make a nice wide opening so it's easy to get out. Get down to a level where I can see my artificial horizon to try and prevent too many flippings. Especially when spinning around like this, I tend to roll a bit as I do that, so handy to have that visible. Keep yourself somewhat level. Especially when you're in a ship like this where we've got very few directional thrusters and predominantly lifting thrusters. There we go, we found the iron. Let's switch drilling modes and turn on our ejectors. And I think our system will be full. So our lift thrust should be able to cope with something in the order of about 36,000 kilograms, but I don't think our storage capacity is going to go that high. We'll find out. We'll get up to 30,000 and see where we're at. We're at 21,000 kilograms. We'll keep mining. And this is one of the reasons I prefer flat miners than vertical miners on planets, is you can see that this deposit's actually really thin. So if we had a vertical miner, we'd have to destroy a lot of stone in order to get down to here. Okay, where are we at? Inventory. Our cargo container's full, our connector's full, and our drill is almost full. Let's just drill a little bit more and fill it right up. And it's basically full. What we could do, we really want to maximize our trip. I hop around to this drill. I fill up my inventory, that'll give us an extra few thousand. Control. Let's drill out the last little bit. Bring us up to that, around that 30,000 mark. Seems like... Oh. What's going on? Where's our inventory at? Our drill is basically full. Okay. I think that's all we can realistically do. Otherwise we'll just be destroying excess iron. Okay. We have a full load. We have a functional miner. Let's get ourselves some altitude. And with our thrusters, we're pretty comfortable on thrust, which is good. Even though our inventory is completely full. Can't move fast, move forward very fast, but if we turn off that forward thruster and we use our lifting thrusters, we can actually gain speed pretty quickly. Again, like tilting a helicopter forward. Since we've got that thruster off, as long as I remain level, I shouldn't lose too much speed. And if I flare up at the end, I'll manage to brake pretty quickly. We need a bit more speed, we're not going to get there. It's a bit of a more tricky way to fly, but it is, I'm pretty sure, more efficient. Especially since we're not using active thrust to brake ourselves the whole way. This little ugly duckling is proving to be quite functional, I suspect. I reckon we'll be able to get 3, maybe 4 trips out of this. We'll have a look. Let's turn on our braking thruster. Let's come in for a very gentle landing. We are quite heavy. And I think a rough landing will end up with destruction. Line ourselves up approximately over the connector. Should be about right. A little further forward, a little more level. There we go. Park. Oh, I forgot to turn off my ejectors. I'm wasting power. I'm going to do a couple more of those mining trips. Make sure I use the most of the natural light available today, since flying at night is probably not my strongest idea. It would probably end incredibly badly for me. So we'll get... I think we need another trip of iron, but we definitely need some nickel as well. So I'm going to get nickel this first time, and then we'll get iron on the third. And if we've got enough power, we'll try to go even for a 4th mining trip. And that'll probably use up most of our day, I suspect. Oh no. Oh dear. I appear to have badly damaged the connector. That's not good. I don't quite know how I managed to do that. Well, looks like I gotta go home. I don't remember hitting anything very hard, so I don't quite know how I managed to do that. Which is really unfortunate. Oh. I've definitely hit something, though. I'm smoking quite badly. I might have to look through the footage to see what I did that caused that, because I've taken a lot of damage. I think I got lucky that I've only damaged the connector, that I haven't destroyed stuff. If I destroyed the connector, the stuff that was in it might well have obliterated the rest of my ship. Oh, there's a lot of smoke. I think I've damaged more than the connector. Might have damaged some... I think I've damaged that thruster on that side. Oh, what haven't I damaged? Well, that wasn't a successful trip then, was it? Well, I did manage to get the nickel done. I did manage to get one proper trip of iron done, and this will be the second one. Oh, I should have maybe come in a bit slower. We're going to have to land just on the roof because the connector's not going to work. Oh dear. Slow down more. Okay. Let's go here. Gentle. Gentle. And thrusters off. Alright. We're here. Now we can fix things. What do we need to fix? We need motor fixing there. We need... Those tubes are fine. We need to fix that connector though. Oi. What have I done? Ah, Sweaty, you dope. Need a bunch of those. Need... Oh, nuts. Where's the assembler? We need more... Oh, what's going on? I clearly did not organize things properly before I went off mining. Need those at the front of the queue because I need them more than anything else. The drill. The drill's not damaged. Need some more steel plates. That didn't look like it got damaged. That ejector system's fine. That ejector system's fine. Oh, that's something I'm going to need to do. I am going to need to turn those ejector systems off because there is some stone on board. If I start ejecting it all over my base, I think it will create quite the mess and potentially do some damage. Let's grab some steel plate and things should be done. Can't believe how lucky I got then. That was a lot of damage without losing any components, which is a miracle. Alright. Everything seems to be rebuilt. Let's do this. Let's use this little function. Let's turn off show block and terminal. That way we won't need to scroll down this list, and we don't need to see the thrusters anyway, normally. So that is handy. And if you want to find blocks that you've hidden, you can just click this show hidden blocks thing up here. Now, remote control, turn our thrusters back on. What I might do, just fly a little ways over here and eject the remainder of that stone. Okay, stone is done. Nice. That'll roll away down the hill. Hopefully won't get in my path later on. I'll probably despawn by then, so that'll be okay. Now I think we might have... We've definitely got enough power to go for yet another trip, which is nice. So we'll do that now that I've broken and then fixed, and hopefully don't break again the ugly duckling. Really sad when I damaged it. Oh dear. Actually, do you know what? We might... I think space is going to be the reason why we stop after this next trip, even if we've got enough battery power. Alright. Let's head off down, and we grabbed a load of nickel, grabbed 2 loads of iron. I think we'll grab a 3rd load of iron. Not needing much else other than iron and nickel right now. We've got plenty of refined silicon. So I'll head down for another trip of iron. And we'll jump ahead to when that's done. Unless I damage it again, in which case we'll jump to where I damage the ship again. And as we're coming to land here, I'm looking at the battery power remaining, and I think both battery and inventory are reasons I should stop. With only 4 minutes at full load, I'm not confident to go down for another trip. So we'll turn park, we'll turn off our thrusters. Let's have a look at whether we got any more solar panels, solar cells finished today. I don't think we really did, because I was building so much other stuff, and we kind of didn't. We got 524. It's something. It's something, I guess. What I would like to do next is make some modifications to this solar tower. And that's probably going to be something where that's what we're going to do in the next video. I need to wait till it gets dark before we can do this, because it's what my plans involve is actually disconnecting this whole tower from our base. And that means we'll lose all of our power output, and I don't want to do that while there's still sun on them. The reason I want to do that is the way I've built this tower, at its current height, there's possibly enough clearance between the tower and this rock for maybe one more panel on the end. But if I lift the whole thing up, I'll be able to fit more panels, and with more panels, we'll get more power. And that is something we most certainly want. What I plan to do involves another rotor and a whole bunch of pistons. So hopefully it doesn't go terribly, terribly, terribly wrong. But it should be okay, I think. Maybe. What I can do in the meantime, just before we end today, is we can get rid of this timer block altogether. We can actually quickly do a little something. I want to create a little server room off here. And let's have a quick look at our plans of our base. If we jump underneath the ground in Spectator, you can see now where everything's laid out. At least if you can imagine it from underneath. You can see our solar tower, our entrance, our little entrance corridor, then onto our large corridor, the side corridor, and into our refinery room. So what I want to do is in this space between that corridor and the refinery room and the outside is build a small little server room. It'll probably contain some batteries and the programmable blocks, and that's about it. So it doesn't need to be very big. We can drill out from here for a doorway. What I will do is I'll actually grind down all of these blocks, because to drill those walls out, I would probably end up damaging those blocks and creating waste scrap metal out of that. So let's play this safe and drill in a way that we avoid doing that. The reason I was able to destroy that timer block and why I won't need one in this room is that Izzy has already updated his solar alignment script with the new settings that allow the programmable blocks to trigger themselves. And hopefully that's going to make running scripts much more efficient. The way I understand it is that with timer blocks, everything was trying to run on the same tick, so you get these performance lag spikes where everything would go bad because everything was trying to happen at once. Whereas with the programmable blocks being able to trigger themselves, Keen have actually designed it so that that'll be spread out spread out across multiple ticks, so you can have more scripts running, hopefully. That should be enough room. We build our wall back there and replace our wall here. Then we can place a programmable block in here. Actually, oh no, let's make this a very cramped little room. Probably, no, let's move the door one block further away. Door will go there. And we can use the same slopey block design that I've done on other rooms, and except the difference on this room will be this side is going to be made out of half blocks. Alright, let's go remove that programmable block, replace it, and download the new script. We shouldn't lose too much power out of doing this. And it creates a nice clear space in that corridor. I've got some thoughts in mind for what I'm going to do now that we've got a bit more room. Up on there, edit, browse workshop. Here's his solar alignment script. Okay, check code. Okay, remember and exit. And it's all working again. All done, all neat, all sorted, all fixed. Perfect. And we got space here now too. So on that note, while we wait for the sun to set, I think our little miner did very, very nobly today. It managed to produce some quite good volumes of ore, so much so that we're actually full on the base. And I'm definitely going to be trying to figure out why on earth I managed, or how on earth I managed to damage that rotten thing. But I'm very, very grateful that that damage didn't end up in any explosions. Some miracle was on my side for that one. The upgrade to the solar panels and plenty more is to come, so I'll see you then.